Weeks after resentencing, Julie Chrisley is back in Federal Bureau of Prisons custody, site states. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons site, disgraced reality TV star Julie Chrisley is back in their custody. According to Chrisley star, Julie Chrisley is officially back at Federal Medical Center in Lexington, Kentucky as of Thursday, October 17, 2024. She was not in BOP custody for weeks due to her resentencing hearing in the tax evasion and bank fraud case that sent her and her husband, Chrisley Knows Best star Todd Chrisley, to prison. Since January 2023, Julie Chrisley has been an inmate at FMC Lexington. For a few weeks, dating back to at least September 22, days before her resentencing hearing in Georgia, the prison site that tracks inmates had Julie Chrisley as not in BOP custody, rather than the FMC Lexington location. At that time, Julie Chrisley was in the custody of the U.S. Marshals Service. Here's what we know. Last month, a federal judge ordered Julie Chrisley to continue to serve her 7-year prison sentence, there for tax evasion and bank fraud. The 51-year-old matriarch of the Chrisleys, who became famous from the USA Network hit show Chrisley Knows Best, appeared in federal court in Atlanta on September 25 for a sentencing hearing 3 months after the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals found that the lower court miscalculated Chrisley's prison time, citing lack of evidence of her full involvement in the bank fraud scheme for which she and husband Todd Chrisley were sentenced. Before the resentencing hearing, a September 22 records check showed Julie Chrisley was not at FMC Lexington. The not in BOP custody status changed October 17. According to a Bureau of Prisons records search on the reality TV star. However, the BOP site has routinely listed a release date of April 22, 2028. The BOP site is a record locator for inmates and does not explain what not in BOP custody means. The site does note that a pretrial inmate may have been removed from custody by the U.S. Marshals Service and subsequently released by the court with no further notice to the BOP. Todd and Julie Chrisley's daughter, Savannah Chrisley, who attended the resentencing hearing in Atlanta, mentioned her mother in a September 25 WSB TV story. She's okay. I think the transport process is a process that no one knows, and it's probably the most inhumane process, especially for women. There is no reason a woman should be transported with over 75 men and only be one of 4 women. There's just no reason that should be happening, Savannah Chrisley told Channel 2 Action News. I spoke to her last night. I can't imagine what that process is for her. It's tough. The couple's son, Chase Chrisley, and the family attorney, Alex Little, also attended the Atlanta hearing, according to news reports. In June 2022, Todd and Julie Chrisley were found guilty of tax evasion and defrauding community banks out of more than $30 million in fraudulent loans. In January 2023, the Chrisleys traded their luxurious lifestyle for prison. While Julie Chrisley is serving time at FMC Lexington, the 56-year-old Todd Chrisley is serving time at FPC Pensacola, described on its site as a minimum security federal prison camp. In June 2024, judges from the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals found that the judge in Julie Chrisley's 2022 trial miscalculated her sentence and did not find evidence proving her full involvement in the bank fraud scheme for which she was sentenced, according to documents obtained by USA Today. The Court of Appeals upheld Chrisley, her husband Todd Chrisley, and their accountant Peter Tarantino's convictions, but found the original trial judge miscalculated Julie Chrisley's sentence. She was held responsible for the entire fraud scheme, which began in 2006. Julie Chrisley's resentencing hearing occurred in a lower district court in downtown Atlanta on September 25, 2024. According to a court filing obtained by USA Today, U.S. District Judge Eleanor L. Ross upheld her 2022 ruling and gave justification for the sentence imposed during the 50-minute hearing on September 25. Chrisley was sentenced to 84 months of incarceration, 5 years of supervised release, and more than $4.7 million. The total amount prosecutors said she obtained illegally in restitution. An attorney for the Chrisleys had requested a reduced sentence for Julie Chrisley, according to the Associated Press. Meanwhile, U.S. attorneys argued Julie Chrisley was a core part of the fraud scheme. The judge reportedly explained her 2022 ruling was already a reduced sentence for Chrisley's crimes, and less than what prosecutors had requested for the former reality star. Julie Chrisley, the reality TV matriarch, best known for her role on Chrisley Knows Best finds herself back in the stark confines of the Federal Bureau of Prisons weeks after her resentencing. Once a fixture of Southern charm, grace, and glamour, her world now consists of steel bars, fluorescent lights, and regimented routines. The road to this moment has been long and winding, filled with high-profile court battles, media scrutiny, and a public accustomed to seeing her in extravagant homes rather than prison cells. A life turned upside down. As Julie Chrisley re-enters federal custody, her mind may still be reeling from the events that led her here. Not long ago, she and her husband, Todd Chrisley, were sentenced to significant prison time for tax evasion and bank fraud, a reality that shattered the family's pristine image. The Chrisleys, once known for their lavish lifestyle and over-the-top antics on reality television, had fallen from grace in a way that captivated and saddened their loyal fan base. While Todd's flamboyant personality took center stage on the show, Julie was often seen as the grounding force, the calm in the storm. But now, even she could not escape the consequences of the life they had built on deception. Following the initial sentencing, there was hope in the Chrisley camp. Legal teams worked tirelessly, appealing the case and seeking leniency. Weeks stretched into months, and the public watched as the Chrisleys seemed to face the storm head-on, though cracks were evident. Then came the resentencing, a sliver of hope that maybe, just maybe, Julie's punishment would be reduced, allowing her to return to her family sooner than expected. But reality proved otherwise. The quiet moments before custody. As she prepared to return to prison, Julie's thoughts likely turned to her family. Her children, Savannah, Chase, and Grayson, had publicly supported their parents throughout the ordeal, but it was no secret that the separation had been difficult for all of them. For a woman whose life had revolved around her family, the prospect of being away from them for years was a harsh pill to swallow. In the quiet moments leading up to her re-entry into the Federal Bureau of Prisons system, Julie may have reflected on how life had taken such an unexpected turn. She had once been a doting mother who shared her home life with millions of viewers, always with a warm smile and perfectly coiffed hair. Now she was a woman stripped of the privileges and luxuries she had once enjoyed. The magnitude of what lay ahead, years behind bars, must have weighed heavily on her. Life inside. Prison life is a stark contrast to the opulent world Julie once inhabited. Gone are the days of shopping sprees, luxurious vacations, and hosting grand dinners for family and friends. Instead, her life now revolves around the strict routine of the prison system, where personal freedoms are limited, and every hour is accounted for. The Federal Bureau of Prisons website confirms that Julie Chrisley is back in custody, a statement that reverberates through social media and tabloid headlines. But beyond the public's fascination with her downfall, there is a woman grappling with a new reality. The bright and bold Julie of Asterisk, Chrisley knows best Asterisk, may have seemed invincible to some, but behind bars, she's just another inmate, subject to the same rules and regulations as everyone else. The once glamorous Southern belle now faces days filled with mundane tasks, cleaning, attending mandatory meetings, and participating in rehabilitative programs aimed at preparing her for eventual re-entry into society. Her surroundings are devoid of the warmth and charm she was accustomed to. Instead, she must adapt to the sterile and impersonal environment of the federal prison system. Yet it is in these moments of solitude and reflection that Julie's resilience will be tested the most. ###, a family divided. While Julie serves her sentence, her family must navigate life without her. Savannah and Chase, who had grown up in the spotlight of their family's reality show, are now tasked with carrying on without their mother's guiding presence. Savannah, in particular, has been outspoken about her parents' innocence and has vowed to fight for justice. But as the weeks turn into months, and the reality of their mother's absence sets in, the Chrisley children will be forced to reckon with their new normal. For Todd Chrisley, who is also serving his sentence, the separation from Julie must be excruciating. Their partnership, both in life and on screen, was the backbone of their family and their brand. Now they are apart, each facing their own battles within the prison system. It's a far cry from the life they once shared, where they worked side by side building their empire. The bond they share, however, is one that will undoubtedly endure even in the face of such adversity.